The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dan Anderson, wishing you a very happy Easter. Now, today it is just me because I don't know what your spiritual dimensions are, but Easter is the time of year when people get together with their families, and so it's kind of on me to deliver this presentation to you. And I've kind of decided to just sort of tap into the season, if you like, and I just wanted to share a few thoughts, really. And obviously, there's a lot of content that we should talk about, but there's kind of this is the time when a lot of our members are celebrating time with their families and what have you. So I deeply appreciate all of you coming on. And fantastic. And this is your CEO, Dan Anderson, and all is well. Now, the one thing that we don't want to lose sight of is recognition. And we have our latest and newest marketing director, Thembi Shilengi, who some of you, if you were at the Brazil Global Annual Conference, you might have met her. And she is an inspirational powerhouse. I mean, seriously, I've not had the pleasure yet of meeting Thembi, but the way people talk about her, she's casting a big shadow already, and she's only young. I believe that she's still in her 20s. She's done so well with her Leo business and is developing it in many different markets and countries. But she's organized and she's serious, and she has people that help her, and she's on a message that is very, very powerful because she obviously has some direct selling experience before, and the testimony that I heard, just a sort of a little paraphrasing of, was that she kind of thanks God for finding Leo because she's been looking for an honest company all of her life. So it's all very well to be a good company and a decent company, but you still have to do the work, and Thembi certainly has done that. So all power to you, and I look forward to celebrating your future success as well, and to start to hear the stories of people in your teams going up the rank and achieving their success as well, because I think that's just sort of the biggest benefit that we have, that we can pass on success to other people. So fantastic. The other small bit of news is that we are pre-sailing a blockchain technology training product, and this is quite exciting as well, because this is the first introductory module which has come out of some of the connections that we have, and it's something that is supported by the IT and Telecom Ministry in Pakistan, because it kind of fits within the framework of what they're doing, and how they want to develop Pakistan into embracing the modern technologies and new technologies. Now, when I say that it's pre-sale, it is actually available in some markets on the web shop now, but we're launching this even as we speak, and there's modules after modules being presented here. So we've kind of done the first kind of quick and dirty launching of this, and we're just test marketing it, and just making sure everything is live. So by the time we get to next week, we should probably have a different sort of story. But it's a fantastic starter product for our business, because it tells people a little bit about this new nascent technology called blockchain technology, and in subsequent modules this will build into an online accreditation course with endorsement by recognized bodies. So I'm quite pleased about that, because it's not just sort of a fluff piece on blockchain technology, it's kind of a hard training piece done by some incredibly credible people and authorities in this space. So very, very pleased with the joint venture that we have there, and watch this space for more information. But this is the fundamental business positioning of Leo, that we are into education and training, and the first part of our mantra is learn, and in the world today there are millions and millions of people who are interested in blockchain, and are drowning in static on the internet, and we want to provide training through our member recommendation basis, which is the word of mouth advertising that we do, that can help people understand in a, how should I say, non-hypey way what this stuff is all about. So all of that is good. I should be talking about the ownership program. I should be talking about Cambodia. I should be talking about Maldives. But I've decided, in the spirit of these holidays, to give you just a small presentation and allow you to go back to your families and even if you're not a Christian or even if you're not celebrating Easter in a meaningful way, just go back and celebrate time with your family, because everyone in Leo wishes you well, and Easter is one of those things, one of those holidays that has a deep tradition, obviously, and that there's obviously a religious side to this that I'm very sensitive to, but it's not sort of something that we as a business, we're an inclusive and multicultural business, so we don't have any particular thing or point of view that we want to push. But there's also parts of Easter that are to do with spring, and there's parts of this time of year that are to do with then renewal and rebirth. And I thought this was a very fitting theme for where we are as a business as well, because at the end of winter comes spring, and winter can be in some climates can be cold and brutal and long and dark, and metaphorically speaking, that could be true even in the most tropical paradise. That winter can be quite difficult, and so then we have this Easter marker, which is connected to spring and fertility, and I guess that's where the rabbit comes from. I've never quite understood why there is an Easter rabbit, and I've never quite understood the biological sense that this rabbit lays Easter eggs. But eggs and Easter eggs are very much part of this Easter celebration as well. And of course, in the West and in Sweden, where I come from, one of the things that you do is you gaily paint the Easter eggs and you hide them and you give them to children to find. The commercial interests have turned Easter into a chocolate Easter egg bonanza. Fine. But so there's the Easter rabbit and he lays Easter eggs. And the Easter eggs brought me into this from a metaphorical perspective, because what is an Easter egg about? Well, I don't know. The tenuous link that I want to make is when you're looking at two eggs. There's the Faubourg egg on the left there, and there's kind of this black egg, this carbon, this coal egg on the right. And of course, the gaily decorated one is full of glitz and glamour, and it's very shiny. And of course, if you allow me to stretch the metaphor a bit, there's a lot of businesses out there that present as very shiny. They present as an easy get rich quick scheme. It's all about the plan. It's all about splits and doubles and this, that, the other, and it's all about return on investment. 0.65 per day was something that was going around in some bogus wallet kind of thing. And of course, when the money runs out, the business collapses as well. But more to the point, when you look at these shiny offerings that are out there, and you consider, with just a little bit of track record in this industry, you know as well as I do that they're here today and gone tomorrow. And there's a reason that Leo is still here since 2012 and still surviving, still thriving, and still carrying on. Because when you have something of substance, they respond to pressure differently. See, the magic of the Easter egg is not how it's painted, it's not how it's decorated. What's the magic of an egg is what's inside. It's inside that you have the life. It is inside that you have the potential. It's inside that determines what this turns into. Now, what I kind of mean by that is that the goodness is not on the outside, and you can't actually see the goodness because it's inside. Now, you take the shiny business, you take the coal egg, if you like, and you apply pressure to them, they turn into and create different results. One turns into junk and collapses instantly, and the other one, if you apply pressure to it, turns into a diamond. Now, what's the link that I'm making here? Well, the shiny businesses, the pitches, the scams that are here today and gone tomorrow, they are championing an internal value to do with wallet, to do with money, to do with making money and running. And of course, we have so many examples of Ponzi schemes and businesses that collapse because they get pressure on them from a regulatory environment. They get pressure on them from the authorities, and they just collapse so quickly, despite the hype, despite the bullshit, despite the story that went on before for a year or two or three, and all of you are filling in with examples of scams that you've seen. They tell this wonderful story. They tell this amazing thing. They kind of try to flick your greed switch any which way they can by promising you the earth and delivering very, very little, unless you kind of qualify for this, that, the other. I'm not going to go into sort of details about stuff. But the minute they get regulatory attention, they collapse, and then people are left high and dry picking up the pieces. Whereas if you have a genuine business that's built on values and built on some intelligence, you put pressure on it, fine, every business has to go through pressure, and the pressure is what turns the business into a diamond. The pressure that is what turns a person into a diamond as well. And sort of stretching the metaphor a little bit, the most important part of what a person is what's inside that person, in terms of his beliefs, in terms of his values, in terms of what he or she stands for. If you don't stand for anything, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And this is another way to just sort of share with you that the stuff that we talk about, the self-development that we champion, the learn, earn, own philosophy that we are driving, is you have to learn about these things if you're going to get to a stage where you actually own something. There's no easy get-quit-rich scheme here. There's kind of no shortcut. Now, what we as a partner, what Leo as a partner is for you, is a company that doesn't think with its wallet. Since we started this business in 2012, we have not one time had a conversation of how do we squeeze more money out of the members? How do we make the plan pay us more? We've never had that conversation. Yet some of these fake shiny businesses, that's the only conversation that they have. How do we fill our pockets as quickly as possible and then take the money and run? There's a big Ponzi scheme now that's collapsing all over the world, and they're going after the leaders. And I think that some of you know which one I mean. But the reality is that you need to become a person of value. You need to be that person that can take the pressure because you know what you stand for. Because this is part of business and it's part of life. Now, we have an innate drive towards meaning. See, in school, you have the lesson first, and then you have the test. Life is different because first you have the test, and then after the test you have the lesson. We can only understand our life when we look back on it. We have to live it forward and understand it backwards. And when you are tested, what you need to do is you need to hold your head up high and be proud of what you're doing and not make the simple choices. When you're tested, you have to still walk the high path. You still have to do the right things because I don't know, negativity will tempt you into something, because we are carbon-based life forms. And the tenuous link that I'm making to the carbon egg is this, that we know what is right. We have an innate sense of fairness. We have an innate sense of good and evil. We have an innate sense of what is good business and what is bad business. And this is something that is wired into us because we are fundamentally social animals. And so we have an imperative within us to do good. This is not just my opinion. This is not just me coming out with platitudes. We are fundamentally good, but we are easily tempted into shortcuts. Now, what we as leaders of networks do is we have to lead by example. We have to be the result that we want to see in our network. We have to be that person that is looking after his people's success before his own success. You're not supposed to be driving massive things and then face the music later. You're supposed to build a long-term sustainable business by championing something that stands for something good. And this is something that I've spent a fair amount of time thinking about, because all of us wonder, why is it so hard for me? Why is it so tough for me? Why do I have to face this? And every time you face something, it's a blessing, but you won't understand it until afterwards. So these are my reflections on Easter, because Easter is that time of year when hope springs again, when spring comes through with the promise of life and vitality. And part of that is, having survived winter, having gone through the dark times, you then get relief. And you get this joyous time when things come together and they flow. And our business, your business, is no different. You have to face the tough times and come out the other side. And don't be that person that sells the shiny. Be the person that sells the real. And so this is my happy Easter message to everyone on this call, and to all of your people, from all of us at Leo. We are trying to do something remarkable. We are trying to do something that we will be proud of when we're little old people. And with your help and with your commitment, I am sure we will get there together. So next week will be the normal webinar when we'll update you on the ownership program, on Cambodia, on Maldives, on Dubai, and everything else that's going on. There's a lot of stuff going on. But in the meanwhile, enjoy on this Easter Monday the last few hours that you have, where you can celebrate your time together on this planet with your family and your loved ones. So this is Dan Anderson on the 22nd of April, saying over and out, and thank you very much indeed for your kind attention. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you guys later. Bye, 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 bye.